All right, let's talk about Wuthering Heights. And I want you to just forget everything you think you know about classic romance novels. Today, we're going to tear down that facade and get to the dark, obsessive, and downright vengeful story that's really at its core.
So, let's dive into this dark and turbulent world and find out, how does a single relationship become this curse that just poisons two whole families for decades?
You might think a story like this starts with a meet cute, right? Nope. Our story kicks off with a terrified guest in a totally haunted house. This is not a gentle introduction. It's a plunge straight into the mystery and horror that defines this place.
So this guy, Lockwood, shows up and he's met by just the most hostile household you can imagine. The air is so thick with tragedy you could cut it with a knife. It makes him turn to the housekeeper, Nellie Dean, and basically ask, what in the world happened here?
So imagine this. Lockwood's trying to sleep, and in a nightmare, he hears this ghostly plea. It's the perfect setup, right? It hints at this tragedy that's so powerful, so full of longing, that it literally cannot rest in the grave. And with that plea, we're pulled back in time.
And that's our cue. Nellie Dean starts her story, and she takes us way back, decades earlier, to the very source of all this haunting. It all starts with this wild, elemental bond between two kids. Kids who are honestly more like two halves of the same soul, shaped by the harsh landscape they called home. You really can't understand this book without understanding the two places at its heart. The whole novel is basically a war between these two worlds. On one side, you've got Wuthering Heights. It's wild, it's passionate, it's untamed. And on the other, Thrushcross Grange, all prim and proper, refined and socially acceptable. This isn't just about real estate. It's the central conflict raging inside our main character, Catherine.
So this childhood they share on the moors, it creates a bond that just completely ignores all the social rules. They aren't just in love in the way we think about it. In their heads, they are each other. But there's always a but, right? This bond is immediately under attack from Catherine's brother, Hindley. He sees Heathcliff, this nameless orphan, as a total threat, an outsider. And Hindley's cruelty, which is all about class, really sets the stage for everything that comes next.
Then, a little accident lands Catherine at Thrushcross Grange to recover, and for the first time, she gets a taste of a different kind of life, one with comfort and wealth and status. And right there, she's faced with this impossible choice: raw, soul-deep passion with Heathcliff or social acceptance with Edgar Linton. She makes a choice, and it's the one that's going to doom every single one of them.
And this leads to one of the most famous lines in all of literature. She's trying to explain it, saying her soul is fundamentally tied to Heathcliff, even as she's literally planning her wedding to another guy. It's crazy, right? She thinks she can have it both ways. Spoiler, she is tragically, horribly wrong.
And here it is, the single moment that changes everything. Heathcliff overhears her talking, but he only catches the part where she says marrying him would degrade her. He doesn't stick around to hear her say she loves him more than anything. He's just shattered, humiliated, so he leaves. And that one single, misunderstood sentence, it plants the seeds for a vengeance that's going to consume his entire life.
So, 3 years later, Heathcliff comes back. But he's not the poor stable boy they all remembered. Oh no, he's rich now, he's educated, and he is armed with a cold, calculated plan to burn their whole world to the ground.
And look, this is what's so chilling. His revenge isn't just some hot-headed lashing out. No, it is a cold, strategic, three-front war. He goes after Hindley. He goes after the Lintons. He even goes after Catherine herself, systematically, using their own weaknesses against them to tear their lives apart piece by painful piece.
So his torment works. It drives Catherine to her death. And in that moment, Heathcliff is just broken. What's the point of revenge if she's not there to see it? His obsession completely shifts. It becomes this agonizing, desperate plea for her to haunt him. Think about that. He would rather be tormented by her ghost forever than live 1 second in a world without her.
You'd think the story might end there, right? The main players are gone. But you would be so wrong. Heathcliff's revenge isn't done. It just finds new targets. They're completely innocent children. The cycle of hate is far from over.
Okay, so this really shows you the genius and the cruelty of his master plan. He's trapping the next generation in this sick web of his own making. He takes Hindley's son, Hareton, and degrades him into the uneducated servant he himself used to be. Then he uses his own weak, sickly son, Linton, as a pawn to get his hands on the Linton fortune by forcing a marriage. It's just diabolical.
And boom, just like that, his revenge is legally airtight. He literally imprisons young Cathy, forces her to marry his dying son just before her own father dies, and suddenly, he's the master of both estates. He's won. He has everything his enemies ever loved.
But even in the absolute darkness of this place, with this monster in charge, something unexpected starts to happen. A gentle connection begins to form, and it's like this tiny glimmer of hope, a chance that maybe, just maybe, this cycle can be broken.
What we're seeing is a new relationship budding between the two cousins, Cathy and Hareton. And it's like a mirror image of the first one, but with a crucial difference. It replaces that destructive, all-consuming fire of Catherine and Heathcliff with a gentle, healing warmth. She teaches him to read, he shows her kindness. They're actually learning how to love, not just how to possess and obsess.
And watching this pure, healthy love grow right under his nose just breaks him. Suddenly, his lifelong revenge seems totally pointless. He just loses interest in the world of the living. He becomes obsessed with visions of Catherine, starts wandering the moors, stops eating. He's willingly fading away to finally join her ghost.
So when Heathcliff finally dies, it's like the curse is lifted. Hope is back. These two descendants from these warring houses, they choose love over hate. They are the ones who finally break the cycle, and they plan to start a totally new life together, leaving the haunted past of Wuthering Heights behind for good. And so the story brings us right back to where we started, with Lockwood. He visits their graves, and he sees this scene of total peace. It makes him wonder, how could anyone imagine that these people aren't sleeping peacefully? It really feels, just for a moment, like all that turmoil is finally, truly over.
But that's the final, haunting question the book leaves you with. Is it really over? The locals say they still see their ghosts wandering the moors together. And that's the dark, unforgettable magic of this story, isn't it? Did they find peace in death? Or is a love that destructive truly eternal, forever bound to the wild, stormy landscape that created it?